Hey, what's up, YouTube? Welcome to Play It Painted Live. Hope you guys are having a fantastic Sunday evening. I was not going to stream tonight, but I had questions. So I'm gonna see if anybody's like around that can help me answer this because I'm confused. I don't understand. I do not understand. So I'm gonna throw this. I'm gonna throw this Zoom link around, and then we're gonna see if anybody hops on. Whoops, that's the wrong one. Give me that Zoom link. No, hold on, guys. Let's copy that URL. Okay, let's try it. And let's just see if maybe Sean or maybe Nelson. Let's see if maybe Nelson's around. Where is Nelson? All right. Okay, there we go. Invites are sent. If anyone wants to come on and help me understand what I'm looking at here. So I'm painting New 52 Poison Ivy. So you can see there's the start of Poison Ivy. I did her face, I did some hair. But what I don't understand her suit. Her bodysuit doesn't make sense to me. So she's wearing a black bodysuit, and then there's just like plants that show up on like different parts for no good reason. And then her hands and feet are covered up. So I'm struggling. I'll try painting it, but it just don't make sense. It don't make any sense to me. I'm gonna tell you. That's my issue. Like this does not, like, I don't know what I'm really looking at here. Anyways, we'll get to it. And I don't think we're gonna paint for too long. But yeah, let's get to it. First, I'm gonna hit up the doggos here with a little bit of a wash, as I'm working on these hounds. Actually, the doggos need they need a little bit of detail work. Nothing too big. Just gonna do a little bit of well, maybe not that gray. Let's use a different gray and do some just a light gray on the spikes that they have around their neck. But I don't, like I said, I have questions. So Sean, Nelson, anybody wants to hop on and explain this to me, how this outfit works, please do so. Like, please feel free. And if you're watching and you have a comment, let me know in the comments what you think. I mean, it's really weird. But first, let's knock these guys out. And I really don't, these are just little hounds. I don't care to do like massive amounts of work on the doggos. They're cool doggos, but you know, they don't need much. So we'll finish painting up these doggos. Hope you guys had a good weekend. You know, as good as can be expected. We're still on lockdown, but we are, at least from my end, we are still continuing to paint, right? So that's good. And I'm back painting some more Batman. So these guys should look pretty cool. You can see the doggos. Angry doggos. Angry doggos. And you can have, the cool thing about the doggos is they can be, you can use them as the villain or the hero. So, if you can recruit them in your versus mode games for either side. So that's cool. But yeah, let's get these guys done. One of the easiest paint jobs in all of the Batman. There are some, this is a cool thing about this Gotham City Chronicle is that there are going to be sets of minis that are very easy to paint. And it's nice to sometimes you just knock those out when it's like, I just need to get myself a W for the day. If you're trying to accomplish something painting wise, you go, hey, there's these 4 hounds and, 20 minutes with an airbrush and a wash later, they're done. So that's kind of good. Where's that basilicanum? Well, we're going to give this a wash here. And then I also have the plants that Ivy, that the season 2 Ivy set comes with. Actually, I want to use a bigger brush for this. It's a bummer. I finally kind of wrecked the tip on this number 3. So it's gonna, it's really just gonna stick to being a base coat brush from here on. But let's get these doggos. Let's get the doggos nice and taken care of. Just because they're, it's a set of 4. It's one of the weirdest doggo sculpts I've ever seen. Like, it's like they have like a human-sized torso to them, which is crazy. Not that it's like a barrel, but like that literally looks like a man's torso, right? Crazy. I just don't understand why they're so broad. Like, yes, it's a very strong dog, but I've never seen a dog whose back is as broad as a man's. So I thought maybe they were like genetically enhanced or something like that. I think they're just hounds though. Anyways, let's get them. Let's at least get that part finished so we can try to figure out Ivy here, because Ivy is not making any sense to me, guys. So I really am going to need somebody to kind of walk me through the logic here. I think I have enough information to paint her, but it's hurting my brain to think about like that. So she's covered basically from neck to toe. She's fully clothed from neck to toe, and that's fine. Okay, you wanted to cover up Harley, Ivy, that's fine. But I don't understand why her hands and feet had to be covered. That's really where I'm confused. Why did her hands and feet have to be covered? And where is the logic in, where the leaves are placed and how that works out with her? And I realize, it's a comic book and I'm asking for like a logical explanation. So it's kind of folly what I'm engaging in, but it helps me figure things out. It helps me, at least figure things out while I'm painting. like, oh, this should look like this and this should go here. And I can't do that with this ivy. None of that makes sense to me. So, so yeah. So we'll let that dry on the doggos, and then we're gonna, I guess, we're gonna go ahead and start. We're gonna try to do some black, painting some of the black here on Ivy, and I shot some green on her using an airbrush, but I really don't like the rest of this is not going to make sense to me. So I guess there's blue, I guess there's black there, and I don't know. Just try it. Right? It's just paint, folks. So I guess if it just doesn't, the problem is if it doesn't make sense to me, I'm not going to be able to paint it very well. And that's a bummer. Let's try. Okay. Let's try to figure this out. All right. So I get it. We don't want to have her neck. Her neck needs to be black, right? And I guess this is going to be black here, right? I hope. So that's black there. The shoulder here should be black also. And then this is, see, I thought maybe she has like her hands would be open where the gloves would be, but no, it's like all one. It's just all one continuous suit of black. And it's just so weird to me. So you guys, if you have a comment in, leave me a comment or something and tell me like, what is the deal? Why does it, like, I could see these really nice fades coming here into the, into the hand to kind of show like the plant parts like growing like into and over her hand and around her body and that kind of thing. But this is with their hand black, it's like you don't show any of that transition. It's just black and then green. And it doesn't even make sense anyways to fade like in and out with black. Maybe Nelson can help me here. All right, we're gonna let Nelson on board.
Hello.
Hey, what's up, man?
What's going on?
So I'm painting New 52 Ivy.
Nice.
And I don't understand her outfit at all.
What do you mean?
Like it's just a black bodysuit, and her hands and her feet are covered. Like I don't get it.
Have you tried to Google her to see
Yeah,
what
I
her
have.
52 up? Oh, okay.
Yeah, and there doesn't seem to be any rhyme or reason to it. It's just, oh well, like let's cover her up. Okay, fine. But why doesn't she have like why is her hands covered? Or her feet? Why does she have plants growing on her bodysuit? That doesn't make sense.
Well, she has to cover the top part all the way to her fingers because she's joined the SJW movement.
I guess. But why are hands?
That's showing too much skin.
Like, I would think, she's supposed to, like, her whole deal is nature, right? How many people are like, I'm gonna go out to nature and they put their fucking gloves on? Hey, look at this! Touch this plant, isn't it beautiful? Like, why would you?
You can't put her into like a skin tone, like.
Well, I could totally do that. but I wanted to paint this one. I wanted to paint specifically New 52 because one, this is supposed to be New 52 Ivy, and I have the other Ivy I have from season 1 is more of the skin, more of the natural skin tone.
Got it.
This suit does not make any sense to me because there's like leaves that come in here. There's like leaves that come in here. They even have, it looks, I can't even tell if there's a leaf that goes on her neck or like, what the hell? If they had just like not been assholes, I could have just painted, this flesh and then faded the plants in and out of it. Like, a regular person would do that's not like freaked out over skin covering. Right? And then it would make sense, but these transitions don't even make sense. Oh, black skin, put the black bastard on. And then you just like, what, you just paint leaves over that? That looks stupid. I don't know.
Black and green.
I don't know. Like I had, before I painted this black in, I had it actually faded out to her skin. And you're like, yeah, that's what a woman that is becoming more like a plant would look like. She wouldn't stop and go, wait, guys, let me put this black bodysuit on and cover up everything, and then the plants will instinctively know, oh, don't worry, we're also going to help keep you modest. Like, why does she's not walking barefoot. It would make sense if she was walking barefoot, right? And you had these plants coming up out of the ground because they're like, that's like her power, right? And then, but no, it's like now they sense her socks. Okay, well, if they sense her socks, why didn't she put fucking shoes on? Because if you've already gone that step, where you're wearing socks to go and be at one with nature, well, then put some shoes on. Put some Birkenstocks on. Do something. Like, I don't see, I can't see any logic at all to somebody walking over plants wearing, a black bodysuit. It's just weird. The weirdest design. Anyways, like I said, I wasn't gonna stream tonight, but I started asking people around, like, what the hell is this bodysuit? What? I don't get it. It's like hurting my brain to think about, okay, so all right, so this is gonna be black right here, and then I just have to randomly kind of fade plants in and out of it, but it doesn't even, you're fading a plant in and out of just the color black. It's terrible. Like, this is gonna look like shit, I think. But let's try it.
New costume design.
I didn't even really like New 52 Batgirl. I thought that was just kind of weird and fun. Like the purple and yellow, it just looks stupid compared to the, like, I love the like classic like midnight blue and black with the yellow. That is awesome. Like, why does she have like yellow with a fucking backpack on now? I don't understand. New 52, I don't understand.
Yeah, I generally don't like any superhero that is like bright color, like yellow or pink, or it just doesn't make any at all. I understand that we're trying to make it a fictional fighting crime type by wearing white, yellow, or flamboyant colors isn't really going to best cover.
Yeah. I actually sometimes I like it though. Like, I like the classic Deadshot that's like yellow and red and chrome because it's so
Chrome
stupid.
underwear.
Yeah, it's so dumb looking that I actually like it. But I can't abide this, like some of the choices they made for like New 52. They don't make any sense. I don't know. So I asked Mark. He didn't get back to me. I asked Sean. I don't know if he's going to hop on. I asked Yvonne, and she just kind of shrugged and said, Ivy's not that important. I said, yeah, but I don't understand how to paint her. That's just, what the hell is this? I don't understand. That's dumb looking. Like, what? Is that really how her? And then from like a painting perspective, you're just supposed to pick spots and be like, okay, I'm gonna build these leaves out. It's weird. Well, let's keep trying. Let's see if it. I don't think this is gonna look very good, but whatever. But the good thing is, all those male feminists aren't gonna be. They're not gonna be fainting on couches because their skin showing. At least they're safe, right? As long as the men are safe, because Ivy is, my wife is one of my wife's favorite Batman characters. She has she did a Ivy cosplay once.
When was that?
This was several years ago, like before we had kids. Her family had a like a superhero costume thing.
I was gonna say, like, did you guys go to convention before when you guys had kids? So I was like, that must be different.
Yeah, no. Well, when Octavius was 1, we were still going to conventions, but we haven't been at convention in a long time. But no, she had a Ivy like outfit that she wore, and I had a what's it called? Sinestro. I had a Sinestro outfit.
Yeah, don't know about that. You love Sinestro.
Sinestro's hilarious.
You should just go full Dr. Manhattan next time.
Just have the naked, the blue naked body paint. That would be hilarious. Yeah, like what the hell do you even? That just looks stupid to me. Well, let's whatever. I guess. You know what I'm gonna do then is I'm gonna shade some of this out and then highlight it back in, I guess. Yeah, it just looks. Ugh. And then she has her plants are cool. The plants that come with this set. It would look cool if the black, like a black bodysuit with orange hair, would look cool on basically any character that was not Poison Ivy. Like that would be awesome. Actually, you have a Batman character that has a black bodysuit and bright, her bright red hair. But with Ivy, you have to have the plants coming in and out, and it has to look like they're growing on her. Now this just looks stupid. It's like, oh, she's wearing a black bodysuit and the plants are just stuck to the bodysuit.
Yeah.
it doesn't make sense. Like if it was her skin, that would totally make sense, right? Because it's like that's like her becoming more one with her plants and all this stuff. And I don't know. I don't know.
Maybe it's a special type of suit.
Maybe.
Plants even more.
I thought, maybe one of you guys would be able to tell me, like, do they ever explain the new suit in the comic book or anything like that?
No, I haven't followed up with 52. Just never. I say I don't have the time because obviously I have time sometimes, but just not. Yeah, I don't really go into the details. I'm surprised Mark.
Mark hasn't gotten
usually
back
with
to
this
me.
one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He loves Ivy. It's one of his favorite characters. So maybe
I'm surprised Yvonne didn't mention you.
I think she was probably just busy and didn't care. It was just I'm doing something else. I don't care about Ivy. Like, okay.
She only cares Jason Todd probably.
She only likes Jason Todd, and I thought she would like Ivy. I thought she would like Ivy and what's it called? The when they had the Ivy and Harley Quinn team ups. I thought that's something she would like, but definitely Mark loves that stuff, so he could explain it.
I
But
always thought Catherine would look super cool if she had red hairs and green eyes, but
yeah, that would look pretty awesome.
eyes kept her with black hair, brunette. I was like, oh, can't you guys just make her red hair, like fun, like red, fiery red? I would just look so.
Yeah, we'll see what. I think Mark is gonna complain about it. I could see him not liking the black bodysuit either. But we'll see. My money is on he's gonna say, yeah, it is stupid. Okay. But maybe he will know if they tried to explain it in the comics. Like maybe you're right. Like maybe maybe it's made out of a special fabric, or maybe maybe she invented that bodysuit to help her, I don't know, commune with the plants or something, or it helps her resist her own poisons. I don't know. I was reading this article about it, like defending her suit. Now it's sexier than ever because she'll seduce you in a different way. Like, what?
Like in what way? I don't know if
They
I'm
were
known for being super intelligent, but
yeah, but they were just like, she's more seductive than ever. Okay, how? I don't know. But apparently that was a conscious choice to cover her up more, which, okay, that's fine, I guess. That was kind of the character before, right? She is supposed to be this like seductress, like this intoxicating person, right? To control people, seduce and control people. That's like one of her main powers. But I guess, is she more? Did she? I mean, I assume she still does that, right? Or did they just make her like basically just glorified plant man now? Did they take that away? Because like I noticed, like they do that a lot in they did that in 40K with one of the chaos gods. there was a chaos god of seduction called Slanesh, right? And Slanesh had these demonettes that were these like basically these like topless women that were, they looked kind of like succubi, and they had these claws and stuff, and they would seduce, they would be seductive, and then they would, rip you in half with their claws.
You made me
But
want to play now.
what's that?
You make me want a game now.
Well, they've already I mean, they took that out of the game. That was the best that was my favorite chaos god in 40K. Back when I used to play it, and when I had a chaos cult, it was a Slanesh cult, because I'm like, that's the only villain that made sense to me, would be this like that's the whole point of evil, is that it's enticing, it's seductive. You're supposed to want, to do it. The other chaos gods never made sense to me. It was like, oh, this guy is just the god of sickness. Okay, how do you attract followers? You're just fucking sickness. Oh, this is the chaos god of war, and he kills everything. So if you kill everything, how do you have followers? Oh yeah, his most loyal follower killed all the other followers. So how do you have a fucking army if you do that? Like, I would just, how is this evil, guys?
Sounds like people who follow.
This is just 11-year-old boy angst. Like, none of this is fucking evil. You want evil? Evil is like, evil is like you want to have sex with evil. Like, you want to take evil home with you. That's the whole point of evil. If it was so easily identifiable and hideous and cruel and mean, you would not be seduced by that. You would have no, oh yeah, that guy kills all his own followers. I do not want to worship that guy. But that guy there has rampant sex parties. Need to worship that guy. You know what I mean? That's what evil is, guys. And
That's
so
definitely a huge temptation.
they took that out of 40K. They took it, the chaos god was this a keeper of secrets, which was like this minotaur that had like 3 boobs and claws, and it was supposed to look perverse and seductive. And then so they took all the boobs out, and so the demonettes don't have boobs. Now they just look like aliens, and now the chaos gods and stuff just look like cows. Because they used to look like minotaurs, now they just look like cows. And I'm like, how is that the god of seduction? It's just a cow. What is enticing about this cow?
You produce cow milk.
And I got into this discussion with, a bunch of like 40K fans. Like, why did they do that? Like, and the most of them were saying like, oh well, it's just they want to have more kids playing 40K and that kind of thing, so they had to take it. Like, that's the hill you're gonna die on. 40K is about fucking fascism. 40K is a race war, and you're okay with your kid playing a race war composed of fascists. But the hill you're going to die on is, dear God, don't let them see a boob on a cow. That's going to fix 40K for your kids? What? I don't understand. So
it's all about money, I suppose.
that was it's a weird morality that these like people, I don't understand that at all. I never really understood that about Western culture. It specifically like American culture, right? Because you can have a PG-13 movie where somebody takes a chainsaw and rips another person in half, and that's a PG-13. I was like, oh yeah, let's let our 13-year-old kids watch that. But if there is a nipple anywhere visible in that movie, straight to an R rating, right? R rating. Oh God, we can't have our kid see it. Like, in real life, I would rather my son see a nipple than see a person eviscerated with a chainsaw. Maybe
No,
that's
that's
just
true.
me. It's
That's
at least the nipple is a natural part of a human body,
yeah.
and somebody getting ripped in half with a chainsaw is not okay for any age to see in real life. So I make that argument, right? And then people
That's true.
go, well, it's just fantasy. I'm like, yeah, exactly. It's just fantasy. So if it's just fantasy, why do you have a problem with boobs on a cow? Why is that, right? The emperor is basically a master fascist and dictator who they have to sacrifice psychics to every day to keep him alive, and the entire Imperium of Man lives this completely like it's if you think about um, uh, the early Catholic Empire and how oppressive that was with the Inquisition and all that stuff. Think about that like times 1,000, and that's 40K, and include the racism and sexism and everything else, and that's all 40K. And you're going to be okay with your kid playing that, but heaven forbid there's a nipple on one of the models. What? I don't. I I have questions. I don't understand. We're going straight into my I don't understand rants. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's
So that ivy base that you got, right? That giant plant, that's actually from Chronicles?
from what?
That from Batman Chronicles?
Yeah,
Huh.
this is from
So
Gotham City Chronicles. Yeah.
is that is that for a boss fight or something?
No, these are these are more of her minions. So
Oh, no,
you can add this now you can, like, any scenario that had ivy in it, you can run. You have the choice of, you can trade in 2 of the other style plants for one of these.
I was gonna say they're base. Wow.
Yeah. So these are like basically like the T-Rex plants. Okay. Well, let's see. And what did I just do? I had it. There we go. But yeah, this is just a super fast project. And I was like, I'm just gonna finish this tonight, and
That
then
looks cool though.
at some point I'll start working on your Harry Potter stuff.
Then
But
I'm not really.
yeah, I know. But you know me, I like to get on things pretty quick once they come in.
Now are they purplish pink or?
Yeah, I airbrushed a purplish pink on them.
Nice.
On the bulbs.
Yeah, I know. Was
Like
cool.
this was a super quick job. I just I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna do some highlighting on these, but you can kind of tell where I'm going with these. But that ivy doesn't make sense to me. New 52 ivy, I don't understand. And the dogs are weird. I don't know why their backs are so broad. They look kind of cool, but like, let me knock them out so that they're not taking up all the space on the table. So look at how broad this back. It's like a human's torso on this dog. Why the hell is the dog?
Yeah, that dog's huge.
I guess, sure, you want to make a huge dog, but it looks like it's it looks like it has a human torso because the shoulders are so wide.
Yeah, that's almost like the Cerberus dog that you helped me paint for Mythic Battle. Exact
Yeah.
same pose, except it's triple headed versus just one.
Maybe that's what they did. Was they just took that sculpt and just took 2 of the heads off.
Probably because it's almost the exact same pose. And then I recall how buff those forms were in the Triceratops. It looks just like that.
That's funny. Maybe it is. Oh man. Uh-oh. Wow, did I really barrel all the way through all this black? I mean, this is gonna be a pain. I'm gonna have to. Uh-oh. I don't think Hobby Lobby is doing curbside. They look cool though. It's a fun sculpt. I like these because they're so fast to paint. You just, you can just pick a night and go, okay, I'm gonna do. Like, I understand these sculpts well enough to know how many I can do in, 1 hour, 2 hour, whatever. And so I can look at the sculpt and go, okay, I have 2 hours to paint. I can finish, these 4 models or whatever. And these dogs took like no time at all to paint. They just look weird. I have people messaging me about Malifaux today, kind of out of nowhere. Wanted to know, oh, why are you yelling at me? What? Go to bed. Leave me alone. Go to bed. Let's just get these guys. Oh, quiet.
They want to know if you still play or you still play. Or...
Yeah, we haven't touched Malifaux in months because it's a very time-consuming game. But I still want to play. Like, it's one of my favorite miniature ranges to paint. It's a pain in the ass to build. I hate building Malifaux. It's like the worst set to build, but it's fun to paint. The game is still very fun. I just wish it wasn't so long. And that game has the learning curve is different than, say, Guild Ball, right? When you're playing Guild Ball, you have to learn what you're learning is you have to learn the teams, but there's not as many teams. What you're really trying to learn is how to formulate good decisions. But for Malifaux, because every master has a super distinct play style, what you're learning is you have to learn as many different play styles as possible, and then how to accomplish all of your your schemes and whatnot. Okay, I'm gonna make this shit. We're gonna figure this out. I think I'm gonna pick a good base green. That's not a good base green. This is a good base green. Wonder where Mark and Sean are. All right. So now we can spend more time concentrating on this. I think what's going to happen is I'm going to finish painting this and then realize that I wish I had just painted it skin color and did the skin into the green, because it's still going to look way better than this black.
Good to have variety, I suppose.
Yeah. I guess, if we're playing Batman ever and somebody freaks out and wants a fully clothed Ivy, I can go here, fully clothed Ivy, as opposed to the other one I have.
If that's the case, just kick them out. Just pack up your stuff so you can go.
You can leave now.
Yeah.
Listen, this game is probably a little too intense for somebody like you. So, there's all kinds of simulated violence and
yeah.
some of the
If
characters.
someone's okay having a full-grown adult dressing up if it's a bat wearing an underwear on the outside and they're offended with Poison Ivy's new top, I don't know.
This character, right? She's supposed to be like one of the most attractive women in the Batman universe, right? Because that's like part of her power as a seductress. So why would the artists like steer? Why would they try to drive the character away from that? I don't understand. Whatever. We're just gonna try to paint this.
Because it's objectifying women, and SJW has infiltrated comic books for the last 5 years now. So.
But is it I think if the character is designed to be that, then that's how she works. That's how she's written, and that.
Right. But they can't come up with anything new. That's the problem with SJW. That's why they want to switch all these original characters into something else that they weren't meant to be.
I guess.
They can't come up with anything original. So they have to make Batwoman gay or lesbian. They have to make... to be honest, I'm not even so upset about that. They just come up with your own characters and make those characters like that. Okay? But anyway, you can go on rants on this all day too.
All right. I don't really care about that stuff. I'm just saying, like, if this was essential to the design of the character, then why did we have to change it? And then not only that, I just have questions about how this black jumpsuit works with regards to her powers.
Yeah.
I just think it would drive me. I think it would drive me or people crazy if they were walking around with just the, basically the sock part of their bodysuit on their feet. At that rate, if I have to cover her feet, just put shoes on. I don't understand.
Maybe like ballet dancers, kind of. Like, you know, the
Yeah.
stuff that they wear.
Like if she's gonna cover the bottom of her feet, why wouldn't you just put slippers on or something at that point? Put sneakers on. Sneakers would make much more sense. Apparently the plants don't really need to be in physical contact with her for anything, so it doesn't make sense that the plants are still wrapping around this bodysuit. Oh, did someone answer? No, no. That was just some other message. Okay. I think I need to go lighter than this. Let's highlight this up. We could at least try to make this look cool. Okay. So, yeah, we could at least try to like make it look like there's some light or some activity going on this weird model. It's not actually a weird, it's a pretty cool model. The sculpt itself is pretty good. These are these single piece PVC sculpts are pretty amazing for you know,
Yeah,
what
Montrose.
yeah, they did a very good job of making these sculpts look good. So yeah, I'm just gonna have to stipple in a pattern here. To try to make it look interesting. Because the leaf pattern is a little too fine to like dry brush, so I've got to just stipple it. Just leaves that kind of come out of nowhere. But this would look a lot better if it was transitioning in and out of, you know, skin. Like if that was her thigh right there, that was going to look a lot cooler than this. This is just black, nothing, and then suddenly there's leaves. You know what I mean? If it was her skin, you could transition the green to her skin and get something really cool out of it. This is just, oh, stop and start. Maybe they did it as a understanding that it would be better marketing for all those girls that want to go to the conventions dressed as Poison Ivy. so they would feel less. So you could be Poison Ivy, and you could be more covered up at the con. Maybe that's why they did it.
Maybe.
Maybe too many. There are too many complaints over people wearing classic Poison Ivy costumes.
Yeah, but those usually draw the amount of crowds.
Right.
A lot of money.
People get mad though, because I've seen girls wearing the classic Ivy costume, and sometimes it's like the women that are doing that are like, they have like the model level bodies to do it, and I guess it probably makes a lot of the other people feel like self-conscious. And then there is an aspect of like, oh, I have such a great body, I'm going to show it off, go to this convention, but I'm not really a comic book nerd. I don't know how I feel about that. Like, I don't care enough personally, but I can understand where some of that frustration would come in.
Yeah, but I highly doubt most of those girls are born with that type of body. It's not like they just sit around all day and eat ice creams or anything.
Something's going on with your audio, because right now it sounds like you're in a cave or something.
Really?
Yeah, it's like really like tinny, and you sound really like faint. Mm-hmm. Okay, so I guess Nelson is going to try to fix his audio. Maybe YouTube is starting to get mad at him for his opinionated self. We'll see. Yeah, I want some of these leaf edges to stand out a little bit so that I don't know. It's just such a poor transition to just go from black to the leaf pattern. Oh, so I'm back in. Ah.
Is this better now?
Much better. Okay.
Them damn Russian bots.
So you're back. No, it's probably Susan trying to kick you off YouTube. You're offending. You're being offensive to people, Nelson.
Probably. Hey, you know what? If they're gonna keep supporting Tess Holiday, then go for it.
If you were, so I don't know. I don't think we fully understand the frustration, right? Like, let's say you went to that convention and you were dressed up as Batman or whatever, right? Then you have this actual bodybuilder show up, and he dresses up as Batman, but like he really fills out his suit, right? Like he looks legit. I don't think most dudes would care. Like I don't think we'd be like, oh, and even if he was like a complete meathead that was like, what's a Batman? And he's just walking around the convention.
I would it's funny.
What do you mean? My agent just made me wear this, so they would take pictures of me. I would think that shit is funny.
Yeah. Yeah. I've seen a couple of those actually.
Yeah.
That one time, well, that's when I was with my ex-girlfriend who was Polish, right?
Yeah.
She's a full-time model now, which is great. Good for her.
Yeah.
She's dressed up as Harley. I dressed up as Joker.
Uh-huh.
And I don't know what I was paying attention to. Probably some perverted girls on the stage, like doing some bikini shows at a convention. They were advertising events or something. I turned around. Sure enough, Batman was standing right behind me. People
Uh-huh.
thought it was hilarious. Like people took pictures of me watching girls, in bikinis, and while Batman's standing behind me because I was Joker at the time.
Yeah.
And this dude, like you said, my gosh, he was the Ben Affleck version of Batman, and with the older one.
Yeah.
But like he had the right jaw, the right look, and his suit was a little bit tighter. You could tell he's
Like he's
worked out.
ripped, right?
He's
Yeah.
ripped and he's finesse, and he looks just like him. And I was like, wow, you're a freaking amazing looking Batman.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, with all due respect, obviously you could kind of tell that he had that junk bulging in the right area. You know what I mean? He just
Yeah.
looked apart, and he's a
Right.
good looking fucking Batman.
Yeah.
And I wasn't offended by that at all. I was like, damn, he's legit.
Did you call him out for not being a true nerd? you know, you don't have a Batman collection.
Yeah.
And he'd be like, "What's Batman?
It's Batman.
What's
I actually didn't
Batman?"
say anything. He definitely played that character really good. But yeah, like you said, guys and girls are just different, I suppose.
Yeah. We would get offended if we would get more offended if like that guy got up on stage and was like, "Let me tell you about Batman," and he doesn't know shit about Batman. Like we would be more mad if he got on stage and he's like, "Look, Batman kills every villain he ever came across." then we would be up in arms like, "Fuck that guy, what the hell?"
Like, are you sure you're
But
watching Batman versus
yeah,
Punisher?
let me tell you something about Batman. When he fought Spider-Man and he killed Thor, you're like, "Wait, what?"
Sir, I'll tell you, I think you're talking about Ryan Johnson there. That made the last bit.
But our priorities are different. We're not we wouldn't be at WonderCon like mad about his body. Like, "Oh, he's making me feel bad about my body."
Yeah, it's such double
It's
standard,
just
I'm telling you.
but I want to be more sensitive to that personally, because it's like, okay, that's a more female related struggle. So okay, that's fine. But at the same time, can we just appreciate, like, hey, you know, this woman who has a fantastic body decided to show up in this really skimpy costume at a con. Cool, good for her.
Right?
Right? Like, I don't know.
Well, I think
I
guys struggle with that too, to be honest. I noticed I gained a lot of weight, but I had no one to blame other than myself, right?
hmm
I just work, sit, eat, and do nothing else. So, you know, if I want
yeah,
to have a body like Hugh Jackman or Chris Hemsworth or something, then you gotta work for it. I'm not gonna ask the agency to put me as a diversity model when I'm, overweight or obese or, you know, don't meet their criteria.
but that's more. But you could. That's more diversity points for you too, Nelson. You could say, "I'm a plus-sized Asian male model." How come there's no demand in the industry? We should
Yeah,
be
you're
mad about that.
disgusting.
How come there's no demand? And I'll be the fat Asian guy in the audience going, "Look, I eat donuts every day. How come nobody's representing me up there?"
Right? God, you don't
Nelson,
see that in the news
Nelson, you're
media.
not fat enough. You need to be more
Gosh,
fat if you're gonna represent me.
if I have double chin or a triple chin or
Yeah.
something, then yeah. Yeah, that's the funny part. You don't ever see the news media cover anything about that, right? You'll
And be
probably just
like,
laugh at
I'm
yeah.
my only representation is Kim Jong Un, okay? That guy's gonna die, so
Talking about that, goodness, he is missing for real.
that dude's dead, man.
You think so?
Yeah, I think that dude is dead.
A lot of people are
I,
speculating that's the case. That's why his sister's gearing up everything.
yeah, I think that dude is dead, or he is so far gone with his illness that even if he's not dead, they still have to replace him.
Dang.
That dude is dead, though. And it makes sense, right? He was a big dude.
He was
Suffer-
extremely obese.
suffered a heart attack, and they're like, shit, there ain't enough
good reason to
kimchi
take
in
him
the
out.
world to save this dude.
Yeah, he was an evil guy.
Yeah.
It's perfect
So
timing to take him out.
it's gonna be interesting too. Like, does North Korea do they just end up do they just end up huddling up with China? Like, we'll be your friend, China. Everybody else is pissed at China right now. They're like, we'll be your friend. We're still loyal.
I hope not. I really hope that they can join South Korea and just make it that much better.
Yeah, that would be awesome. I don't see it though, not yet. Maybe, but maybe they get maybe this next supreme leader draws them even closer, right? So that maybe, maybe in the next 10 years or so, you might see a more closely unified North and South Korea. That's my but hey, we have representation as long as Kim Jong-un is alive.
I love the fact how you dressed up like him, right? Was it you, right?
I dressed up as Kim Jong-il, yeah.
Yo, yeah, the dad, the jumpsuit, the sunglasses. That was hilarious.
I would have definitely dressed up as Kim Jong-un, but the time that party was around, Kim Jong-il was still in power. So
I wonder if anyone really took offense to that.
oh no, this party was all it was mostly white people, but they were not they weren't bourgeois, so they were so they didn't care. They thought it was hilarious. They were more like country, like, wait, you're what? Oh, that's hilarious. These guys dressed up as Kim Jong-il, because it was a villain's party. So go to the party as your favorite villain. And I was like, I got this. Yeah, that was super funny. I don't know if I wonder if I went to a party and somebody was offended by me dressing up as Kim Jong-il, like, why would you be offended by that? Somebody would be, though, right? People can find reason to be offended by whatever.
By anything nowadays.
Yeah. Like, if you think about it, right? I think chubby white dudes and chubby Asian dudes, doughy Asian dudes, have been a mainstay comic book sci-fi, staple for decades, right? For at least, as far as I know, at least 30 years. It's been all doughy, pasty white dudes and fat Asian guys too that love sci-fi. And we ain't never had like representation body-wise speaking in any of those genres. There's not like a fat Paul Atreides or a fat Asian Superman in any. There's no. I don't know. Maybe if they make a fat Asian Lantern Corps, a member of the Lantern Corps.
We should just have that comedian doctor to be the next Lantern.
Oh,
Asian
Ken Jeong.
King John, yeah. He'd be the comedian Lantern. I think Asian people always stereotype as short.
But see, the thing is, I think with Asian people, they don't really give a shit about representation. In fact, it kind of bothers them. That's why all the anime people look white. Like, we know what we look like. We don't want, this is fantasy. We want the Japanese, we want the Asuna girl to have red hair and green eyes. That's we know what Japanese girls look like. It's okay. This is fantasy. We can, give them blonde hair and and giant D cups, and that's why anime is considered like so offensive. White people are offended at Asian people on behalf of Asian people when it
Yeah, it's
comes
so
to
weird.
anime.
It's just
I'm
so
offended
weird.
on your behalf. Stop drawing like that. That's the message we get from anime.
But they draw a lot of that inspiration from really like Russians
Yeah, from
and
Western.
Ukraine.
Yeah,
There are actually girls that look like those type with great body proportions.
yeah,
That's why if
but
you go to Taiwan and Japan, they have a lot of Russian actors now
right.
and Ukrainian actors too. But you get
Yeah,
what
I
I mean.
mean, same with the Philippines too. It's like,
Really?
it that's been for years in the Philippines. Like if you're if you're a blonde, you can be in anything you want in the film.
Yeah.
They'll put you in whatever movie you feel like being in. You may not have a speaking role if you don't speak Tagalog, but that's even better because then, then you're just hanging out in the background. What's up, Sean?
Not much. How are you?
Good,
How's it
man.
going, John?
Hey, how's it going?
Trying to make this 52 costume make sense.
Oh yeah, Sean. So Octave had a
Yes.
question about this poison ivy. I'm not too familiar about how she has a black top, and it's not her like natural appearance. You know? Do you know what's the origin? Or why she
Yeah,
has
do
that?
they ever
I kind of do. Let's put it this way: New 52 was like trying to make. I hate to say it, stuff either like semi PC or give it a new spin.
But do they ever explain in the comic book how
No,
this suit works or anything? She just shows up and it's like
just shows up in that type of suit, and I was like, okay, I guess this
she's
is
like,
a thing.
"Come to me, my plant children." Well, wait, let me put on this fucking suit over my whole body.
Because
Now
like,
you can grow on me. Here
like,
you go.
the thing that I was trying to understand, just based off of like the origin of like how her character is during that time period, because she was acting more of like kind of a weed at that point, more so than like her previous forms where it's like, oh yeah, I just create plants. Now it's like I'm like fully eradicating humanity, but yet at the same time I'm kind of being watched by Batman and a couple other people, so it's just like better keep my shit in check.
Okay.
But like the design was so weird when I first saw it.
Is your mic too close or something? It sounds like it's like either rubbing on something or
Or you
there.
may be hearing what you call it, the fan that's nearby.
Oh, okay.
Because if it sounds like air's passing by it,
Yeah,
It
it sounds like you're
definitely-
driving.
yeah, that's our fan.
Okay.
Let me sit slightly a ways away from it so that it sounds less like that.
Okay. Let me see if what if I did like if I said fuck it with the whole natural green colors and did a little bit more of like we're gonna try this fluo green. See if it's just such a shit transition from black to green.
Yeah.
It's actually no transition. You're just supposed to paint leaves arbitrarily on her body. That's so dumb. At least with skin, you can fade towards green skin tone and out of green skin tone. And
yeah,
now it's just like, there, put leaves. What? Just, yeah. And then the whole walking around with socks on, that makes no sense to me.
Well, the one thing that I will say, even though that like the new design isn't my favorite, the person that does the art for Poison Ivy is really good in other things that he's done.
Okay.
But yeah, like the redesign, I was just kind of like, there's nothing to gain from it.
Yeah, I guess it's like, I think barefoot in the grass. Yeah, right? That's what you want.
It makes
Why-
makes more sense.
I mean, okay, sure, put her in the fucking bodysuit if you want, but why did you cover her hands and feet?
Hmm.
I don't understand that.
Yeah.
Whatever. And then now we're just talking about fat Asian dudes and the need for representation. Fat Asian dudes.
Yeah, I feel left out.
Think
I need
about
to be
it.
represented.
Think about it, man. Like every convention you ever been to, there's at least I'm gonna say conservatively 15% fat Asian dudes at, at any sci-fi con, anime con. Anime con now you're up to like probably 65% fat Asian dudes. but fat Asian dudes do not want representation. That's the whole point of them being in sci-fi. They do not want to look at other fat Asian dudes.
Well, I mean, like, if you want me to go down the weird line of like there is an actual character that is in that qualification for DC, but I usually don't tell people about it because they would be like,
Why?
why are you telling me this? It's like I figured that I'd let you know it was an
Who's that
option.
character?
Bouncing boy.
Yes.
That sounds even more offensive.
It is highly offensive. When I saw
That's
the character,
funny.
I was like, oh, okay then.
Here you go, Nelson. We got you represented. We're gonna put this guy on. He's gonna represent you and your needs. We're calling him Ching Chong Ding Wong. And he's just gonna.
I don't want to say
You're
if
like,
there's
what?
characters like that out there, but you know.
That's your representation of. Yeah, see, I did that for you. I did that to represent you.
It's like you see, I bring this out for you.
Yeah.
I mean, like, look,
Perfect.
they
He's
have
bad
started.
at driving, and
I mean, they have started a lot better on like putting more Asian characters out there, so that isn't really.
But the
terrible.
whole thing about Asian fandom,
Yeah,
and you can trace this back to anime,
that's true.
is that Asian fandom doesn't give a fuck about seeing itself. It's the entire point of anime.
Basically,
Nobody is like, oh man, what did they get wrong? All their eyes are gigantic. I don't understand. They're all blonde. And wait, this is supposed to be a Japanese cartoon.
Right.
It'd be like, the comic book writer's like, oh, see guys, we made the bulge in his pants smaller to represent you Asian guys. Here you go. We're representing you. Look at how woke I am.
doesn't make you feel better.
You're like,
Love me, daddy.
Okay.
It's like,
What?
stop that. It's like, stop with
They
the
just-
representation.
it's like, oh yeah, don't worry. And we made the Hispanic guy illiterate, and the black character steals cars. We wanted to be sure to like none of these representations are good. Just stop it.
I mean, like, I feel that right now you probably have like maybe 4 to 5 top tier Asian represented comic book characters, but that's just like 5 that are really good.
Yeah, but the thing is, yeah, I don't know. I mean,
I know it sucks.
I don't really care as long as it's a good, like if it was a good character.
Yeah.
Who cares? Then color his skin in a little browner or whatever. Make the eyes smaller. Who cares? It doesn't matter. The problem is is that the character design is the ethnicity and not the other way around. And it's like, oh well, we're gonna make this person. Well, what's so interesting about them? I don't know. He's Asian, eats a lot of rice. Like, how is that a character? Hey, what's up, Luis?
I mean, like, if you,
Thank you, sir.
like, look, I will point out one of the top better ones that you guys have for Asian representation is probably Dawkins, even though that he's like Asian Canadian.
But yeah, but the problem is we don't want it.
I know.
We don't stop how about that? Just stop representing us, okay? Let's call it even. We're fine. Really. It's okay.
I mean, like
You
for
know?
me, it's weird where you get like the super like they say, oh, we're gonna like fully give you a black character. It's like, okay, cool. It's gonna be a copy of that other character over there. I'm like, we don't want that.
Right. Nobody wants that.
It's like, yes, I appreciate that the representation of, Black Green Lantern is better than the other ones. But still, when you're like, here's what we got.
When they made characters like when they made characters like Bishop and X-Men or whatever.
Oh yeah, I
it
thought
wasn't
it was dope.
It wasn't central to that character. It's
No.
like, let's just make this really cool character.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, by the
Bishop was
way,
dope.
yeah, by the way, he's black. And no one cared. It was
Yep.
just a dope character, and we're like, yeah, that's awesome, man. Bishop is pretty sick. Now it's like, here you go. We made this character, and he's he's African American. We're gonna call him Ebony Man, and he's gonna represent everything about you. And you're like, what?
Oh my
What?
God.
Ebony Man.
Like, how is that not wait, you're trying to not be offensive by being super offensive.
Oh God, I love
Like,
that.
What?
Remind me if I ever become big as a like terrible one-shot joke, just make Ebony Man.
Ebony Man, dude. Let's make a movie. Let's make that a movie.
Yeah, you can sell it off to Netflix.
Yeah.
They're buying ideas all the time.
I'm darker than the blackest piano keys and
Yeah.
found on a piano.
We go into the pitch meeting, and they're like, oh, tell me about this character. And I go, well, you see, he's black.
They're like,
Fascinating. I like it. Yeah. What does he do? Well, he's black, and his life experience is being a black person. This is brilliant. Good stuff. You're like,
some comic book writers are like that. That's the
no,
weird
that's
part
that's
about
what
it.
I'm pointing out, is that because they don't actually formulate characters. They start with the whole notion that I'm gonna make a good character, and then that character happens to be this. It's, I'm going to make a black character, and then I don't need to write anymore.
Exactly.
He just has to be a black character.
So many people are like, but what are his struggles in life? Like,
And then their friend goes and puts it on their comic blog.
yeah,
Ebony Man, he shatters all the stereotypes by being a stereotype.
most cases I usually feel really bad for like Native Americans, because if you notice, most Native American superheroes are based around animals.
And they're pretty sad. If you think about the one guy that died in Uncanny X-Men when
Yeah.
that was Thunderbird.
Yeah.
And you're like, no.
You're just like,
But see, that was an instance where, because Uncanny X-Men, they did so many other things right. They had that, when that team first came out, and it was Storm and Colossus and Wolverine and Nightcrawler, and those were all the new characters that were added. They had these awesome characters, and then they were like, well, he's this nationality and this nationality, and it was, it's baked into the character, but it wasn't the central thing.
No.
It's not like Storm was like writing, in every third panel, she's like, I'm African, and therefore they didn't give a shit about that. They're like, no, Storm is just a badass character, and let's just write a great character.
The funny thing is, like, if you end up looking at Thunderbird's like future like costume designs looks way better than like the previous ones where it's like, hey, get it because he has feather and hair.
Yeah.
You're just like, can you take the feather out and just
It's
give
like
him
where
the
that's like
logo?
really where they, back then they had so many good characters and then they screwed the pooch on
I
Thunderbird.
know. It's like, and here's Thunderbird.
And I mean, admittedly they did that with they did that with Banshee and
Oh yeah.
Sunfire. But I think they were able to redeem those characters
Mhm.
a lot more than Thunderbird.
Oh yeah.
Thunderbird was just a dick and then he died.
Yeah.
That was his story arc.
It's like finally he realizes my true purpose is in order to save the team. I must
I'll
sacrifice
save you
myself.
guys. Yeah.
It's like, what?
He was the Carl Weathers of
God.
that X-Men team.
Right?
I'm
And
a
then
dick. I'm gonna save you now.
No,
Oh,
it gets bad when like they're really scraping at the bottom of the barrel, because like freaking, you know, Marvel was like, so we're gonna make Canadian Man, Canada Man,
yeah,
this whole Canadian team over here. Let's do that. That looks great, right? It's like
I
this
liked
can't
Alpha Flight.
backfire.
Alpha Flight was a pretty damn cool team,
Mhm.
actually. When it came down to it, they were actually able to make some good characters out of it, but it did start
Oh, yeah.
it started from a really hokey place.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I mean they can make good stuff like that, but even then, like if you think about how they made characters then versus
Mhm.
now, it's just sad. It's
Yeah.
like I need to make so they need to make a character named Fat Asian Congoer, who is just a fat guy with a backpack that knows every anime convention. Somewhere out there is a comic book writer writing all this shit down. I was watching
Probably
this.
is.
I was watching this podcast the other day, and these Asian guys were complaining about their lack of representation. Fat Asian Congoer.
Yeah, freaking Alpha Squad.
I think I'm gonna name him. I think I'm gonna name him Fanboy. And in order for him to be more Asian, I'm gonna spell it with a PH. Fan, PHANBOI. Fanboy.
And that is a Asian last name. That's correct. That's the fan.
Jesus.
They play around with those tiny fan too.
Oh my God!
man.
I need to sell this to Marvel right now. They will pay me. They will pay me to write Fanboy.
Yeah,
Yep.
the latest stuff
Now.
from Marvel, I was just like, oh, God, just stop.
I go into the
Take a break.
I go into the sales pitch. Tell me about this Fanboy. Well, he's a fat Asian guy.
Right.
That's intriguing. We'll give you a whole series to make Fanboy. What does he do? Well, you see, he's fat. He goes to the cons, and he struggles with he struggles with finding his representation in the cons, and his superpower is to point out every obscure detail about an enemy, and then he makes them feel sorry for him, and then he can defeat them. Fanboys, that's my new superhero.
Fanboy.
I need to draw the character. It would end the comic industry.
I mean, the comic industry's come pretty close.
Can we
to, like,
argue that
ending
it's
it.
pretty much over anyway? Exactly. It's pretty
Like-
much done deal.
It's like it's a 2% chance if someone actually creates something that's new and fresh at this point.
Come on, I would if I saw that shit on a comic book shelf, I would buy it just for the lol. I'd buy it just for the lols. Fanboy.
Fanboy. Here in order to save the day, fanboy. Like, oh yeah, he's not really good at math. It's like, so it's like, yeah, but yet he has the same compulsion of like having to pick up things and counting them. Oh, so
They,
toss coins on the ground.
they make him they make him take a driving test, and that's where he ultimately dies.
Oh
He has
no.
to save the team.
Sounds like Rose Tico in the Last Jedi.
I'll save you guys. Good
I'll
job,
save you
fanboy.
by driving her airship into Finn's airship. Yeah, so Luke just sacrificed himself. It makes a lot of sense.
So like my biggest like question in like the comic book industry was who's like okay, the Wonder Twins. Like
Oh, they were dope, man. Love the Wonder Twins.
me as a kid, my brain was like frying just on the basis of oh, she has a dope ass power.
And
The
he is
monkey's there,
terrible.
and then you look at him and you're like you turn into water-based objects.
This guy gets to be a fucking bucket of water. Like, best case scenario, he was like ice one time.
You know, right? That was his good day.
And I'm like, and you still have to wear that fucked up costume. What the hell's the matter with you?
The worst thing about it is I just see them like the one day where they're like, "Oh man, we're getting our butts kicked really bad. What should I do? I'm hanging from the top of the chandelier. I know, turn into a stalagmite." And he
Shape
drops
of.
down and just like pierces the person. It's like, oh, this is a bad idea. Oh, I think I might have killed him. Oh man. Oh, guys, can you get me out of him? Like, no, we're gonna have to call the police, and you're gonna have to answer questions about this because, yeah,
No
he's
kids
dead.
wanted to be the Wonder Twins growing up.
No
Nobody
kids
wanted.
ever did,
It was finally Robin had someone to look down on.
right?
The one in the Justice League.
Damn.
It's like just
Finally, Robin is like, at least I'm not the bottom. I'm not. At least I may not have any superpowers, but I don't turn into a bucket of water.
It's like sweet. She could turn into a ferocious animal. What can you do? Water bottle. The team just like looks up. Who brought these two in? It's like I thought they were with you. No, I thought they were with you.
They were added just for the Hanna-Barbera cartoon.
Oh yeah, basically.
And I still don't understand. Hanna-Barbera did some really stupid shit back then, because they did that with Battle of the Planets too. Or like, let's just introduce this 7 Zark 7 guy that makes no sense. And then, let's do Wonder Twins. And everyone's like, we hate the Wonder Twins. Don't make us be the Wonder Twins. Damn it.
In the halls of justice, the Wonder Twins. It's like they're just basically their personal secretaries. It's like, when do we get to go out and do field training?
And they used to have, you would see like Hawkman and Hawkwoman in like the previews.
Yeah.
And you'd be like, please at least bring them on. And Hawkman and Hawkwoman were never on that show.
No.
But Wonder Twins, every fucking episode.
What's up, guys?
You had the Wonder Twins. I would watch that show and I was like, kill them, please.
Please eliminate them.
Make it stop.
Bad.
Make it stop, the Wonder Twins.
Big Bertha was not bad. I mean, she's like the one character that I give a pass.
I don't even know who Big Bertha is. Who's Big Bertha?
She is a part of the Doom. I think not Doom
Jenna
Patrol,
Doom?
but with Darkseid. She's She's part of the Furies.
Okay. I don't know. I don't know enough about comics. They don't represent me enough. We need more fat Asian guys in comics.
Oh, you're talking about that Big Bertha. Never mind, that's Marvel's Big Bertha.
What the hell?
Oh, there's two different. Oh, I'm thinking Big Barda. That's why. Big Barda versus Big Bertha. Yes. Never mind. That one was kind of a mistake, too. Because, ha ha ha, anorexia. I'm like, no, Marvel, what are you writing?
Damn. I do need to get on to writing this comic book fanboy. I would hope that it wouldn't sell like a single issue, but as long as I got paid, although who knows, the comics may be dead, man. Comics may not be coming back from this pandemic. It was
Really?
already dying.
Really depends on
But
which
now
comic.
it's like what the hell is left? People are gonna be party's over. Everyone read manga from now on. Forget it. Stupid fanboy ruined everything. All right, let's see if I can make this new 52 costume work here. Okay.
Worst costume ever.
Plants done. Doggos are done. It's just really hard to make, even with the highlighting in the green. I don't know. It's just bugging me. Like what? I guess it's okay. It just looks. I'm just like before I painted it black, I had it more skin color, and it was all blending into itself. Like the green and the skin color were like blending back and forth, like in and out, like the previous design, and it looked pretty sick like that.
Yeah.
And this just does not look as good. Mainly because there's no, like, if you fade this green slowly into black, then it takes all the detail away.
Yeah. So, and you basically have to like brighten it up instead.
Yeah. So now I just have to do
A bunch
just
of
like
highlights.
just distinct start and stop. Like she'd almost like somebody took a glue stick and put it on her bodysuit, and she rolled in the leaves, but they ran out of glue. So she's like, like she you can actually see the pattern where she rolled. She rolled here. She started on this hip, rolled this way, and then she ran out of glue.
Oh, that's how most cosplays are started.
That's what this costume is.
So here's my biggest question. Are most, like, besides the people that have like all the money in the world and like the state of the art equipment and all that type of stuff, but the people that are like, I'm gonna be a superhero or I'm gonna be a supervillain, where do you go shopping for costumes? Or is there like just one designated guy that's just like raking in the dough and just like making costumes for both sides, and it's like whatever?
That would be pretty funny, like in a in one of those
A side comic.
yeah, where there's just where it's just like this super talented maybe that's fanboy superpower. Is he he does he's like a handler for cosplay girls, you know, and he does all their sewing and stuff. Maybe. Like that's actually I've seen that in some of the in like the cosplay world where
Yeah.
you know you have like a really popular cosplayer, you know, almost like more along the lines of like a model type, and she has her own, you know, and you have these dudes that are like half seamstress, half photographer.
Yeah.
But they're generally that cosplayer's handler. Like I've seen that. That could be fanboy. But he's like the best one. So fanboy would have all these he would have all these guest appearances by other heroes. Like, yeah, I need to my suit reworked. Poison Ivy shows up. I need a new costume because I'm naked all the time. And he's like, black bodysuit, and just puts a black bodysuit on her. I don't have enough glue, and he just rubs a couple spots, and then that's how.
Well, apparently Lewis said that someone did explain that in Marvel that there was a guy that charged a lot of money to repair and create suits.
That's funny.
I mean, like
there's Edna Mode in the Incredibles universe, so that's
basically
cool. But fanboy, that actually makes a lot of sense, and why he is so involved in the convention scene. Is it like he's one of those top end, you know, seamstress / handlers for professional cosplayers.
Oh, so I know that there are some people in the world that aren't really like into Super Sentai stuff. But there is, I can't remember the name of it. I'm probably going to try to figure out what the name is. But it's basically a spoof on the Super Sentai stuff. It's just that this guy basically is a fanboy of Super Sentai things, and he knows every season, every series, and how things are made, like to a T. And it's like kind of a psycho warped mind type deal where he feels like he's a Super Sentai at the same time too. And there's a cafe that he has as a hangout place. And I'm just like, this is weird but good in all the wrong ways. Like if you're a person that's like, I'm not really into Power Rangers or the Super Sentai stuff, like this is kind of like the series for you where you're able to make jokes about it.
That's cool.
Let me see if I can find it.
I don't know. Whatever. Let's just wrap it up. I gotta go to bed soon anyway. It would give a reason why villains always rob banks to pay their debt. True.
Yeah. It's called. Let's see. Hopefully, this is the one that it is.
You know, this is gonna sound weird, but I actually like this better than the Night Models Ivy sculpts, mainly because you don't have to deal with the uncertainty of the resin.
Yeah.
Right? Because like if you look at her features, no, they're not nearly as detailed or intricate as the Night Model sculpt, but that's when you see the Night Model sculpt, you're looking at a professionally prepared and painted miniature. So it doesn't have the flash or mold lines or you know, bubbles or obscured details. It doesn't have any of the flaws that you might like readily encounter with a resin model. Yeah. This is a sure bet. You're not getting you're not getting that amazing looking Poison Ivy that's you know, the one that I'm talking about where she's like kind of leaning back against the giant plant.
Yeah, the one where she's kind of sitting in.
Yeah,
the plant. Yeah,
like that's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
But I painted that model.
Yeah,
and as cool as that model is, sometimes you'll have problems with the face or because of the, just how the sculpt was made.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of reasons why I like, I like this monolith stuff, because it's, what you see is what you get. And like, I didn't have to remove mold lines or hope that a resin joint would fit another joint and not break anything. So, but yeah, pretty cool. I will just fully admit I regret doing this new 52 style.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of a waste. I should have just painted this like the way I instinctively wanted to do, like old school Ivy costume.
Is this for like the Monolith Games one, or?
Yeah.
Oof.
So
Monolith did you dirty in that sense? Damn.
No, they didn't. I mean, this is the 52. This is the 52 sculpt. They have
a second one?
Season 1 has the old school sculpt.
Oh, then.
Which is why I painted that one old school. But then even like when I first started painting this one, I was like, why should I do the 52? The 52 looks stupid.
Yeah. I would just use the regular one.
Now, well, I actually like this sculpt better. I just wish I had done what I
painted it skin tone.
Yeah, I wish I had followed my own instincts and just painted it the way I wanted to paint it.
Yeah, but that makes sense.
But I was like, let's give the 52 a chance, and it's dumb. Anyways, like, all right. I mean, everyone, you'll be able to you'll be able to recognize who this is. Like, oh yeah, it's Poison Ivy. But I'm just looking at this sculpt going, yeah, if I had actually done skin tones and like this part of the thigh would be green and would transition towards like skin here and there.
Yep.
I could even do like green to cover up this other boob and all that other stuff. That would have been awesome.
Yeah.
But oh well.
Yeah, it's still a cool sculpt though.
It's a cool sculpt. It just I don't like the 52 that 52 black bodysuit. I think it killed what could have been a really neat looking transition. It just dumbed it down basically. But anyway, I gotta go to bed, guys. All right, so thanks everyone for watching. I'll be painting later this week. I'll be painting more of Nelson's Harry Potter stuff. So tune in for that. Thanks everyone for watching. Have a good night.
Cool. Have a
See
good
ya.
night,
guys.